Cody McClellan. From Shaker Heights in junior forward, number 15, Eleanor Miller. For Thomas Worthington and junior defender, number 25, Jaden Gusler. From Shaker Heights, a senior forward, number 16, Addison Weingart. From Thomas Worthington, a senior attacker, number 32, Taylor Card. From Shaker Heights, a sophomore back, number 19, Eleanor Gillespie. From Thomas Worthington, their sophomore goalkeeper, number 55, May Conroy. And for Shaker Heights, their sophomore goalkeeper, number 94, Carly Sokol. The assistant coaches for Thomas Worthington High School. Please welcome Isabel Parisi, Maddie Gels, Katie Thompson, and Emily Run Campbell. Also, manager Addie Albert and scorekeeper Stephanie Lytell. The assistant coaches for Shaker Heights High School, Jennifer Clark, Olivia Hamilton, Delia McDermott, and Addie Clark. The student managers for Shaker Heights, Joey Moore, Evan Fury, and Braden White. And the head coaches for each team, from Thomas Worthington, Terry Simonetti Frost, from Shaker Heights, Ashley Borstein. The umpires and officials for today's contest are selected by a system approved by the Ohio High School Athletic Association's Board of Directors that includes input from the field hockey coaches throughout the state of Ohio. Their training, experience, and integrity qualify them for their important role in this friendly field hockey competition. Please join me in welcoming today's officials. Our head official, Garcelle Arrington. Our second official, hailing from New Albany, Bill Gardner. And our reserve official from Granville, Mike Burwell. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a great country with freedoms like no other. To honor the United States of America, in respect for all who have served this country to defend our freedoms and to promote respect and equality for all, you are now invited to stand, face the Sergeant Stripes floating gently in the south end of the stadium, join the singing and playing of our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner. Thank you, folks. A reminder that the concession stand
Hello, Shaker Heights varsity field hockey fans. Welcome into the press box once again at the Thomas Worthington High School campus. Shaker Heights in the state finals taking on Thomas Worthington, so they have a lot of home field advantage. We can talk more about that. We'll talk about more about the game as we move forward. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum on the call. We'll send you right down to the field as we're all done with our pregame stuff. National anthem, you just heard it. We'll send you down. Thanks for joining. Shaker Heights coming off of their victory against Mount Notre Dame. That game was on Thursday. A good old Halloween evening contest. After that, it was Thomas Worthington competing against Upper Arlington. Thomas Worthington was able to get the victory that time in a 2-0 final. Shaker beating Mount Notre Dame 3-1. So both squads coming away with the 2-goal victories. But there's a lot of history between these two squads as they are. Shaker Heights coming into this one, they played earlier in the season, and Shaker lost it in a final of 2-0, but they've also played in the last state tournaments as well. Thomas Worthington, obviously back-to-back championships in 2023 and 2022. So now they're looking to go for the three-peat. And Shaker has always been in their way. Shaker has not been able to beat them over those past couple of years in the state tournament, but now they're looking to just change the narrative and get the victory here today. Shaker on the right side of your screen, they're all huddled up in the white jerseys, red skirts. On the other side, navy blue with red numerals for Thomas Worthington. Again, kind of defending their home territory here. Thomas Worthington, always the neutral site. It's a lovely stadium out here, Hamilton Field in Worthington, Ohio. But Thomas Worthington always seems to get here to the finals, and therefore they always seem to get that home field kind of advantage as well. Thomas Worthington, winners of one of two central regions. Shaker won the Northeast region. They knocked off Mount Notre Dame, who were the winners of the Southwest region. And now here we are in the final round. Worthington is going to start off with it. The Cardinals taking it to the near side. They're going to get possession whistled their way. Thank you very much for joining us. Vaughn Ullum on the mic for another good call here. Thomas Worthington trying to strike quickly. It'll be blocked away. And Shaker will clear it out of the danger zone for the time being. Fans still finding their seats, as you can see in front of you. Of course, if you're a Shaker fan, still a pretty far drive. They had to drive here 2 hours. Of course, the team themselves, they did stay up here, but for people like the student managers of Joey Moore, Braden White, and Eamon Fury, they drove back here another 2-hour drive, and they're actually going to be driving back for a hockey scrimmage later tonight. Right now, Shaker unable to control it and move it out. This is going to go past the goal line and out of bounds. Shaker is going to maintain possession now as we're only a minute 20 into the game. It's a long game, ladies and gentlemen. Running clock, 60 minutes, 15-minute quarters. That time immediately intercepted right outside of the semicircle. Thomas Worthington looking for another shot, and it'll just slip by Carly Sokol. Awkward bounce in, and Thomas Worthington will tack on first. Not even a minute 30 into the game. They take the lead. It's 1-0. The Cardinals lead. My goodness, that came out of nowhere. Bad turnover, about 20 yards out from Carly Sokol's goal line. And so Shaker's going to take possession, and they really have to get their offense clicking and just try to control possession for the time being. Of course, if you're Shaker right now, you might have a little bit of a mental block as well against this team. Again, you just haven't been able to beat them over the last several times that you two have faced each other. And now in as high a stakes game as this one, you just got to beat them. And if not, then you're going to be the runner-up, and you're not going to be able to take that state title home. But right now, the Worthington Cardinals do lead it 1-0 after that odd goal that just slipped past Carly Sokol, the sophomore goalkeeper, in that neon green uniform to the right side. Worthington still going to control it on the near side. Rich going to tip it out, and that's something of note. Joe Rich back into the lineup here today. She was out for that last game. But, yeah, now Joe Rich, the senior on defense, a captain as well, is back, and so that's just a huge addition coming back into your finals game. Obviously, not the start you wanted, but obviously you got the squad to do something with it. They're only down by 1, and hopefully Thomas Worthington not going to up that deficit. But right now, they are all over it. Referee blowing this one dead for the time being. They're about 10 yards away from the midfield stripe, and they'll play it to the far sideline. Shaker will take it. They have to get a rush going, but right now Thomas Worthington just not letting them do so. A good play by Joe Rich to get it back in her possession, and now get possession whistled back to the team of Navy and Red. That's Thomas Worthington, the school of Franklin County, again representing the Central District. Let's see what the Cardinals can do with it. Shaker really yet to get an offensive possession going the other way across the midfield stripe through these first 4 minutes of play. Right now they're going to redo this one. Looks like it's going to be Zoe Garnett to put it back into motion. 16 yards away from the goal line of Carly Sokol. They just need to get it away from this zone. And right now that pass just did not connect. Went over the stick. I believe that's Gerald on the far side. Worthington right back to it. But now here's Shaker's going to get the possession as it's whistled by the referee. 10:30 left to go in quarter number 1. 1-0, the Cardinals do lead it, but as we mentioned, it's a long game. Shaker with plenty of time to bounce back into this one. But still, that early goal going to take momentum early, and that's never helpful, especially against a team like the Cardinals that are looking for the three-peat here today. Here's a rush getting started on the far side. Shaker starting to move it. The defense holding strong for Thomas Worthington. Now it's going to be whistled in the possession of Shaker, and they'll keep it moving with Charlotte Juan. Juan under pressure by 2 Cardinals. Referee still going to give the possession over to Shaker. Looks like they might drop back for a moment, and indeed they will. Now they'll try to just send it into the semicircle, and that they do, but it'll bounce away from Addie Weingart, and Worthington just going to try and clear it out right now. Let's see if they can do just that. Shaker takes possession back with Sloan Fenton. Referee says possession Worthington, so they're going to back up and try to get something moving down the near side. That pass out of the reach of any of the forwards for the Cardinals, and so right now Shaker going to have the possession. Gillespie, the one Raider to get it done. Joe Rich helping out as well. Here's a turnover by Catherine Adams. Addie Weingart playing that near side for the time being. There's another bad turnover, this time by Worthington. And the sophomore Zoe Garnett hanging on to it under pressure by 3 Cardinals. Referee says no thank you. Oh, but now he's going to whistle it the other way. So Thomas Worthington gets the possession with 8:30 left to go in this first quarter. They lead 1-0, looking for 2 if they can. Up the near side, Joe Rich sticking to this forward like glue, and will poke this one away. Actually, I think that was honestly kept in bounds. The referee says no. But we play on. Here's a good centering feed. Good opportunity for the shot. Great save by Sokol. And it'll be cleared away from the semicircle, but it's still with Thomas Worthington. Great play that time, keeping it a one-goal game. Thomas Worthington going to keep possession, and these referees not letting either squad really play any advantage, as you would see in like the sport of soccer. They're just stopping play, getting everybody reset. And there you go. The referee right now a little bit whistle happy. And we're halfway through this first quarter of play. 7:30 left to go. Shaker moving it down that far sideline, but Worthington is going to get it as it rolls out of bounds. The Cardinals up 1-0 here in their home field, Hamilton Field. Good turnover forced by Joe Rich, back in the lineup here today, trying to split the two defenders. She's going to keep possession as the referee in pink blows it. And here it'll fall to Laura Geralt on the far side. Looking for a centering feed. It's going to be tipped and go out. I believe Shaker will stick with it here, and indeed they should, as it bounced off a Cardinal in front. It's going to be a long hit for Shaker. No short corners awarded for either side just yet. Eleanor Miller scored on a short corner to extend the lead to 2 in that last game. Here's a good chance into the semicircle. No Raiders are there to make the play. But as it's cleared out of the goal line, Shaker still in their possession. Entering into today with a record of 14-5-2. Thomas Worthington 15-5-1. So only the difference of a tie and a win between these two squads. If you look at them on paper, there's just not a lot separating them except for when they met earlier this season. Good work by Joe Rich, maneuvering around these midfielders. She's going to get possession whistled her way. The sophomore Yakavone hits it, tried to find Catherine Adams, maybe Eleanor Miller or Juan up between the hash marks of the football field. And right now, Thomas Worthington is playing aggravating defense, but right now it is really working. It's like something you're seeing out of a elementary school soccer team. They're going to crowd you immediately when they have possession and not let you get free. 5:10 left to go here in this first quarter of play. Thomas Worthington leads by a goal, but only a goal. And immediately it'll go out of bounds. Shaker will take over, looking to even this one up. They've had some good passes into that semicircle out in front, but again, passes like that are just not going to do it. I mean, if you're Shaker, it's really feeling like at this point you got to play a mistake-free game against Thomas Worthington. Of course, letting that one goal slip in, not a good start, but the momentum has started to even up a lot more as time has gone on. We'll see what they can take into the second quarter as well. Here, Garnett tripped up. Possession whistled her way. We're going to move from right to left. At least eventually we're going to get this back into play. We're going to clock reset. They want 2 extra seconds on the clock. From 4:07 to, 40.9. That's not what it's supposed to say. Eventually we'll get it to 4 minutes and 9 seconds. Scoreboard operator not having a fun time. Not having an easy time, at least. Cardinals leading by a goal. All the players catching their breath. You can see Joe Rich stretching out her legs for the time being. All players are just looking around, wondering what to do next. They're in the state finals. You really shouldn't be having the technical issues that we're having early on. We saw the national anthem barely get started. But now we get it set to 4:10. And we play on. This one's sent down to Eleanor Miller, the 2-goal scorer in that last game. It was a 1-1 first half. The first goal came from Nina Yakovone, but then Eleanor Miller took matters into her own hands and scored 2, 1 in each, the third quarter and the fourth. Really sucked the life out of Mount Notre Dame. Shaker came out of that halftime with all energy. They started to loosen up their play, and they just started to look like the better team. And that's what carried them to the victory. Ooh, here's a bad collision. And it looks like we're going to get a green card whistled down to Joe Rich. The one being taken down for the Cardinals was number 2, Sophia Borges, a junior. And so now Joe Rich sits down on the sideline. And here's a good opportunity for Thomas Worthington to strike if they can. Nina Yakovone with a quick turnover, trying to move it over to her defense in Sloan Fenton, but now a centering feed. Carly Sokol on top of it, kicks it away. And here's a good opportunity for Adams to just try and maintain possession and get it away. We get a foul. Possession will go to the Red Raiders. Zoe Garnett is going to be the one to put it back into play. As it sits at the 33-yard line of the football field, she'll just move this one back. Shaker going to slow things down. Maybe that's your best option, but oof, bad pass. Could not be received cleanly by Geralt. Elena Geralt, the other captain besides the one in the box. 2:35 left to go in quarter number 1. Thomas Worthington leads by a goal. Charlotte Juan tried to keep it in on the near sideline. Referee says no. Addie Weingart playing defense for the time being. Looks like it was a bit too aggressive. The team of Navy will get it right back. Again, the referee whistling a lot of changes of possession early on. Feels like every couple of seconds we're getting a new change of possession. Here Carly Sokol trying to kick it away, and now she will. She'll just send it out past the goal line and just let it be. That's the safe option if you're Carly Sokol. And so the sophomore is going to now be joined by 4 Raiders in her net as they get set for the first short corner of the game. Borges, the one to send it in. That's the one that was fouled by Joe Rich. Joe Rich now standing on the sideline, getting set. Thomas Worthington fans trying to amp up their home team as they defend the state title. They send it up. Here's a good chance for the shot. It was batted down just in front of Carly Sokol. Didn't make its way to her, but shoot, that was close. And now we're down to the final 70 seconds of the first quarter. Shaker still looking for a good shot on goal. And another pass just not picked up cleanly, that time by Gillespie. Zoe Garnett trying to find her on the far side corner. And again, this just might be state finals jitters, but would hope the state semifinals can take those away. Possession whistled to the Raiders. We saw in the pregame warm-ups, Thomas Worthington was out here first. They were out at 11:50. Shaker made their way out at about noon, maybe 12:05, 12:10. And there was a much different energy between both squads. For Shaker, it was come out here onto the field with a lot of intensity, take what's yours. But for the other side, it was a lot of have fun, have a smile on your face here in the state finals. And for a lot of these players, hey, you've been here before. You know what you're doing. But yeah, for Shaker Heights, just a much different kind of energy and different kind of momentum that they're trying to hold into the beginning of this game. Here's Geralt taking it between the hash marks, between the center of the field. And now Shaker is starting to move it a lot better. Juan under pressure, but there's only 5 seconds. You got to get off a shot. Looks up at the board, but as she does, possession turned over. Thomas Worthington going to clear it out of the semicircle, and that takes us to the end of quarter number 1. Honestly, a pretty even first quarter. It was just in the first 90 seconds of the game, Thomas Worthington able to strike on an awkward bounce that just barely made its way past Carly Sokol, an awkward little goal that made its way into the back of the net. And so now both teams going to take their 2-minute timeout as they get set for the transition between quarter 1 and quarter 2. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call. We'll be right back from Hamilton Field in Worthington, Ohio. Thomas Worthington up by a goal, but it's still been a very even game up to this point. Shaker Heights was just starting to click in the final moments, but then, of course, time expired on them. And so through the first 15 minutes, Thomas Worthington is going to be leading this one 1-0. Good game, however, up to this point. Shaker just needing to keep their head up. And let's see if they can bounce back into this one. Again, just a little bit of a mental block against these Thomas Worthington Cardinals, and it's difficult not to when you have lost to them in this state tournament over the last couple of years. Of course, that was in the semifinals, so now you're taking them on in even a higher stakes game. Here, you got one more win in order to take it home. And Shaker right now still looking for their best offensive chance of the first half, because right now they haven't had a ton of good strikes. But now looks like there was a shove in the semicircle of Carly Sokol, so that's going to be another penalty corner awarded to the team of Navy and Red. That's the Thomas Worthington Cardinals leading this one, looking to double this lead if they can. Borghese to send it in. And the whistle blows. Here we go. Sent to the top of the semicircle. Now the centering pass is broken up at first. Now held on to by Garnett. Gets it away to Addie Weingart. Cleared out of bounds. It's going to be put back in by the Cardinals. However, just good work to defend on the short corner chance. And now here's a good rush brewing for the Raiders. Let's see what they can do. Addie Weingart continuing to move it forward. Just off the stick of Charlotte 1. Worthington gets it back. And Shaker is going to get possession whistled their way by the referee, doing it near side in that bright neon pink outfit. We have one on the far side as well. Now here it looks like an elbow from Thomas Worthington, so we're going to get Zoe Garnett to put it back into play. Down the far side, once again, just not able to be picked up cleanly by Geralt. On that far side, it zooms past her and out of bounds. It's not a way to get a rush cooking. Here Geralt back with it. Good stick handling, takes it through up to Eleanor Miller. Here's a good rush for Shaker Heights. Addie Weingart deep down the field, looking to get possession to go her way, just out of reach past the goal line. And as it goes outside of the goal line, it's going to be Thomas Worthington ball. Just about 5 yards away from that top of the semicircle, Thomas Worthington was able to take over possession, play it to the far side, but now Shaker whistled possession. Let's see what they can do with it. Once again, a whistle, Shaker with it. They're going to play this one back onto the Cardinal logo at midfield. Now Zoe Garnett trying to play a physical battle, tried to bump Borghese off the ball, and that's just not going to be a clean play ever in the name of field hockey. Thomas Worthington gets the possession, and they're still looking to double their lead. And again, ever since that 13:32 mark, remaining in that first quarter, it's really been even. Worthington back on the strike, trying to take it inside of the semicircle. It'll get past Carly Sokol, sneaking through the far side left post, her right post. And Thomas Worthington, in the blink of an eye, is up by a pair. So now Shaker Heights, as you can see, huddled up in their semicircle, talking things over. And we saw that as well after Mount Notre Dame tied things up to make it a 1-1 game. However, that's all Mount Notre Dame would be able to get out of it. Thomas Worthington already given Shaker much more difficult time than the Cougars ever really did in that game. Especially in that second half when it was all Shaker Heights. Of course, Mount Notre Dame still had a couple of chances, especially in that fourth quarter. Shaker was attacking for 99% of the time. 10:20 left to go. In this first half, Shaker keeping the possession with them. Catherine Adams kind of fans on the pass, but it will make its way up to Miller. Joe Rich elevates this one, gets it back into motion for Charlotte Juan to pick up. And it says it hit her foot. And Shaker a bit surprised with the call. Surprised he could even see it from that far out, if it did hit her foot or not. .15 left to go. Thomas Worthington up by 2 already in this first half of play. This is going to take a strong roll. Will it roll out of bounds before anyone can get there? Just barely. It was a race between Fenton and Borghese. And it looks like possession to Thomas Worthington. Referee incredibly aggravating with these calls, and now he's going to blow this one dead and call a short corner to the advantage of Thomas Worthington once again. I believe that's their third now. And they're looking to cash in for a third goal as well. We'll see if they can do it. Shaker needing to hold their own. A 3-0 deficit is really quite hard to come back from. And I know, as we mentioned, it's a long game, but 3-0 can just take the life out of you before you can even cash in for your first one. Up to the top of the circle. This a good kick save by Sokol, keeping it 2-0. Shaker still struggling to clear it out. Here's another good chance, and the referee says no goal. Thomas Worthington was quick to celebrate, the fans all the same, but again, the referee calls this one a no goal. We play on. Shaker sends it all the way down. Emerson Miller giving chase. And along that far side, Shaker is going to be keeping possession as their own, cutting this deficit down here, and really quite soon would be a very big momentum change. If you can take at least one goal into halftime, then who knows what kind of momentum you can carry into the second half. But we're still waiting to see really a good shot on goal for Shaker up to this point. They've had some chances here. Referee whistles this one to the advantage of Thomas Worthington. And once again, we're going to get a short corner for Thomas Worthington. Shaker still yet to get one for themselves. So here's number 4 for the Cardinals. Thank you very much for tuning in. Vaughn Ullum on the call. 6:25 left to go in half number 1. Shaker fighting themselves down by a pair. It's 2-0, which was actually the final of Thomas Worthington's last contest against Upper Arlington, and was also the final of when Thomas Worthington beat him earlier in the regular season. Here's a shot. It's tipped, and it just hits the side of the net. There was a hole to the left of Carly Sokol. But they weren't able to sneak it through. It'll hit the side of the net. Shaker's going to take possession over here with 5:40 left to go in the second quarter. This one's elevated up into the air. And possession whistled to the Cardinals. This referee playing a tight game. And now Adams, fans on a send down the field. Referee rules it as a dangerous play, so Worthington gets possession there inside of the semicircle, looking for a shot. It's out in front of Carly Sokol in the traffic. Shaker will take it over. Adams moves it forward and just sends this one down. Eleanor Miller going to try and get there to try and turn it over on the near sideline, and she's tripped up. The Cardinals fans getting excited. They know they are in a good position here in the state finals. They're up 2-0. Emerson Miller giving chase on the near side, keeps it in, but pass right to a stick of Thomas Worthington. Oh, they're a harsh play on the near side. The Cardinals fans incredibly angered, and yeah, that was a very harsh collision between Borghese and Sloan Fenton. Borghese, a junior wearing number 2. And the referee calls them both over for a little chat, but now they're going to get right back to it. Worthington with the possession, 30 yards out from the goal line. Referee says it hit the foot of a Raider in front. Still, it's kept with the Cardinals. rule a push off by the Raiders. Worthington still with it into the circle. Takes a harsh shot, and yeah, that almost hit the legs of Nina Yakovone. That's going to be ruled as a dangerous play, so it's going to be whistled the other way. Zoe Garnett hangs on to it 15 yards away from the goal line behind Carly Sokol. Here a whack down the field, but Worthington still keeps it in their favorable side of the midfield stripe. This one's going to be sent out of bounds. It's going to be Fenton to send it down the sideline, and it'll curve its way out of bounds as well. Shaker with the possession now on the near side. 3:10 left to go. Shaker could use a goal before they enter into halftime. And with passes like that, Thomas Worthington is going to say no thank you, trying to move it past Zoe Garnett, and now they rule a corner. As they say, it hit the leg of, I believe, Zoe Garnett, maybe Sloan Fenton, but I believe it was Garnett. And here's corner number 5 for the Cardinals. This referee, man, he's playing it tight. Borghese, the one to send it to the top. A couple passes, still looking for a shot as Thomas Worthington. They'll get one off. Shaker tried to clear it with Zoe Garnett. Here's another shot. It'll end up wide. And Shaker has successfully held off the Cardinals once again on a short corner. Thomas Worthington going to hold it 2 minutes away from halftime. Again, Shaker was able to manage well out of the halftime in that last game. However, right now, a very different situation. You were tied in that game. Right now, you're down by 2. Shaker with only now less than 100 seconds to go in the half. Can they cash in before the break? It'll be a 5-minute halftime as usual. Zoe Garnett plays it to the far side. She's got a lot more open turf in front of her to the near side, but we're going to play to the crammed bodies over there to the far. And now moving it up, it's Emerson Miller. Miller tries to center it over. Nobody home, no Raider jerseys at least. And now Thomas Worthington going to move it up the far side once again. Here's a good pass out in front, defending it well. Zoe Garnett, for the time being, forces a bad shot, and it'll go wide to the left. Score remains 2-0, Cardinals leading. Only 45 seconds left to go in this first half of play. Honestly, it's felt like an even game, but at the end of the day, when you're down 2-0, there's still conversation to be had in the halftime huddle. Here's Eleanor Miller trying a centering pass to Charlotte Juan, trying to get that last rush in. But Thomas Worthington just not letting it happen. It'll end up out of bounds. Now only 15 seconds. It'll be difficult to get a last chance now. Pass picked off. Now 10 seconds left to go. We're all the way back to Zoe Garnett. Garnett up to the midfield logo. They're going to try one last hit and send it down, but it'll take us to the end of half number 1. Shaker Heights finds themselves down by a pair, a goal per quarter for Thomas Worthington. They got their first goal only 90 seconds in, and then they doubled that lead around the midpoint of this second quarter. We're going to step aside for halftime. We'll be right back in with about a minute left. We'll tell you about what we saw from half number 1 and tell you how maybe Shaker can crawl back into this one. They're down by 2. We'll be right back. Von Ullum on the call from Thomas Worthington High School. Shaker down in the state final. Hello, Shaker Heights Varsity Field Hockey fans. Welcome back in to the press box here at Hamilton Field in Worthington, Ohio. Shaker Heights finds themselves down by a pair. Right now, they're just looking a lot more tense. As we mentioned right out of the gate, there weren't as many smiles on their faces. That was mainly for the home crowd here of Thomas Worthington, but that's just because they've been here before. Of course, they're looking for the three-peat, and right now, it's very much looking like they're going to be able to get that done unless Shaker, like they had in that last game, are able to come out of halftime, score a pair, get some momentum on their side. But we will see. We're going to send you back down to the field. Vaughn Ullum on the call. Thanks for joining. Thomas Worthington has been in the state finals from 2015 all the way up here to 2024, excluding the year 2020. But, I mean, I'm not even sure there was a tournament in that year. Right now, Shaker out of the gate, just playing a little bit more aggressive. Possession whistled over the team of Navy and Red. Thomas Worthington with a goal in each quarter. The first goal of the game came less than 90 seconds in. 13:32 were remaining in that first quarter. When the goal was scored, it was an awkward little bounce that just somehow made its way past Sokol, the sophomore, starting in the net today for Shaker Heights. And right now, Thomas Worthington trying to get right back to it, but possession whistled over to Zoe Garnett and the Red Raiders. Garnett, the one to put it back into play. Carly Sokol slides down. Here's a good chance on the shot, and it's fanned on. Wide open net. Sokol dropped down to try and block it. In doing so, it was a wide open net, but the shot just fanned on, and it just rolled its way past and out of bounds. And my goodness, Sokol and the Raiders should be grateful that this one now a 2-goal game, because it was just one missed swing away from being 3-0. Shaker with the possession about 25 yards away from the goal line. Referee, as you mentioned, playing a very tight game, blowing the whistle whenever he can. Near possession whistled over to the Cardinals. And again, he does not let them get right back to play. They have to reset fully and then get back to it. That's the thing with this game. It hasn't been a lot of moving pieces. It's been a little section of about 30 seconds of play, then we stop for about 5. Then we get right back to it for another 30. We stop again for 5 as the referee wants it reset. This far sideline referee has been a lot better at trying to keep the play moving. Now 12:30 left to go in this third quarter. This is going to be sent wide. Carly Sokol, however, still going to come out of the danger zone, kick this one away. And now a corner ruled in favor of Thomas Worthington. Shaker still yet to get a corner for themselves. But Thomas Worthington has been attacking for the most part the Shaker Heights defense. And so once again, we're going to be seeing Thomas Worthington with another good chance. Borghese to send it in. That's their designated Cardinal to put it into play on the corners. Here's a shot, and somehow it snuck through just past the stick of a Red Raider defender in front of Sokol. And now out of nowhere, out of the short corner, it's 3-0. Thomas Worthington going to be leading. Again, Thomas Worthington has been here a great many times. They're looking for the three-peat. They won in 2022, they won in 2023, and right now they're in position to win in 2024. Geralt moves it up to Weingart. Now it's crunch time if you are Shaker. If you want to get back into this game, you got to start now. But right now, Worthington just not letting them move it forward. Out of the gate, it's really been Worthington all through the first moments of this second half. And the Cardinals have really just been sticking to Shaker well. "11 minutes remaining in this third quarter. And we'll have another 15, and then that's what separates Thomas Worthington to the three-peat, as mentioned. Good play by Miller. Juan getting to the ball as well, but Thomas Worthington just playing a quicker, more aggressive game and getting it back into their possession. Play on the far side. Thomas Worthington sticking with their possession. Zoe Garnett bats this one down. It's kept with Shaker, moving it onto the midfield logo of Thomas Worthington. Now to Weingart. Weingart passes it right back to a Cardinal. No Raider in sight. Eleanor Miller playing a physical game, pushes down a Cardinal as well. No call. Clearly the Cardinal fans wanted something out of that play. And Shaker just starting to play a more aggressive, physical game. More than likely because what they typically are working with just isn't working. As again, they find themselves down 3-0, 9.5 left to go in the third quarter. And here's a centering feed. Carly Sokol kicks it away at first. And now Shaker is going to get possession back. Shaker down by 3. They haven't had a lot of good offensive opportunities, especially coming out of the halftime. It's been all Cardinal. And right now the Cardinals are going to get possession whistled their way. At the top of the circle, looking to move it forward. Rich says no, thank you, and they're going to move it now down to the far side. Shaker's starting to move it a little bit. To Catherine Adams. Now going to need to center it herself. And into the circle. Now we're whistled for a short penalty corner. Shaker with their first one of this afternoon. Big opportunity for Shaker to cash in for the first time and maybe get momentum back into their play. Let's see what they can do. Sloan Fenton, like Borghese, the designated one to send it back in on the corners. And here it's sent in to Adams. Adams going to pass it over to Yakovone. Yakovone, strong shot. It'll bounce its way forward. And now Emerson Miller fighting for a second chance. They're going to pass this one back. They were looking for Charlotte Juan, and now whistled once again for a penalty corner. That's 2 back-to-back for Shaker, looking for another opportunity to maybe cash in and cut this deficit down to 2. One step at a time is what these Raiders need to be thinking about. You can't get it all back at once. And here's a strong shot by Adams. Yakovone trying to get possession back. And it looks like it hit her foot, so Worthington going to take back possession. They go 2 for 2 on clearing out those penalty corners, the only 2 Shaker has had so far. Shaker Heights going to get possession. Less than 7 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Garnett launches this one up into the crisp, chill air. Game time temperature right now, 57. It started at 52. It's gotten a little bit warmer, of course. Of course, 3 o'clock, the prime time heat of any day. Much better conditions than what we saw on Thursday when Shaker Heights took on Mount Notre Dame and those Cougars. It was a very gray day, a lot of cloud cover. The sun was trying to peek in every so often, but the clouds just not letting it happen. And occasionally a sprinkle would shuffle in onto the turf as well. And yeah, again, it was just a chilly affair all around. Here, the goalkeeper of Thomas Worthington kicks this one away. Conroy, the sophomore, also in between the net here today. It's a sophomore versus sophomore, which it's interesting. It's just not what you're going to see mainly from two teams in the state title final. We're typically not going to see a sophomore with, of course, less experience as a sophomore getting this kind of playing time in what is the biggest game of the year. No question about it. On the far side, possession whistled to the squad of Worthington, Ohio. Again, Franklin County, an enrollment of actually 621 girls, which is more than Shaker Heights, 538 for their enrollment. And now Worthington's starting to move it down. Really quick off the rush. It's Borghese. And now a corner. Getting whistled for Thomas Worthington to take one once again, and one goal might just be a deciding factor at this point in the game. You got less than 20 minutes left to go on the clock. We've got 4:15 now in quarter number 3, and then 15 of quarter 4. Thomas Worthington fans trying to amp up their team, looking for goal number 4. Passing it back. Now here's the shot, batted down. Shaker's still trying to clear it out. Zoe Garnett playing it well, gets it out from the corner. Now Shaker's going to try and get it moving. And it looks like they're going to get just that as the referee whistles it their way. You know, a big difference between these two squads is the head coach. Of course, Ashley Borstein being the head coach of Shaker Heights, been there for 5 years. But then when you look at Thomas Worthington, their head coach from Boston University, Terry Simonetti Frost, has been at this school for 26 years. And in doing so, she's worked Thomas Worthington up to now 19 state semifinal appearances. They're a phenomenal save by Carly Sokol, keeping it 3-0. Carly Sokol now playing like her life is on the line, and I mean, right now you just can't let anything get through, or else a 4-0 deficit is really what's going to take the life out of this game. Here comes Worthington off of another turnover in Shaker's defending half of midfield. Shaker has struggled with maintaining possession. And again, when Thomas Worthington going to make plays like that to slow your momentum down and get it outside and out of bounds, I mean, that's just hard to play with. Shaker, another strong hit, bats the stick out of a near side Cardinal. But we play on. Still playing it to the near side. Less than 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Then we enter into the fourth and final. Thomas Worthington with the possession again. This near side referee not letting anything get through. Of course, Worthington, a hard team to score on. They have only been scored on 9 times during the regular season, and they're still yet to be scored on at all during this OHSAA state tournament. And of course, when you're in the state tournament, it's going to get progressively harder. You assume you're going to let at least a couple in once you get at least to the semifinal round, maybe even your regional final. But nope, Thomas Worthington and their defense has just looked overall like the best team in the state. And right now, they're looking like they could go for that three-peat, especially if they can cash in just once more. Make it a 4-goal deficit. That would mean the world. But Carly Sokol right now playing like it just will not happen. This one goes out of her goal line. Shaker with 33 seconds left to go. It'll be interesting to see what the coach is going to say to her players in those 2 minutes of break between the third and then the final quarter. Because if you're the coach, you can't let your team get down on themselves. Of course, when it's a 3-goal deficit, you definitely want to. But, I mean, we've seen Shaker score 3 goals before in a quarter. Of course, a team like Thomas Worthington is a lot harder, however, to sneak one even past. Again, only scored against 9 times during the regular season. And right now, Shaker was trying to issue them their 10th of the year overall, but it's not looking likely. They're down by 3 as we enter into the 4th and final quarter of play. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Vaughn Ullum on the call. We'll be right back for the final quarter of field hockey play in the Ohio State Tournament. Thanks for joining. The Cardinals of Thomas Worthington here playing at their own home field, Hamilton Field. We're up here in the press box calling the 4th and final quarter of the OHSAA state tournament. Shaker Heights down by 3. Thomas Worthington looking for their 3rd straight state championship. They won it in 22, they won it in 23, and they're looking for 24 here. It would be their 9th state championship. For Shaker, if they would somehow miraculously able to create a comeback, it would be their 3rd. They won it 10 years ago in 2014. Other than that, it was in 1991 when none of these players were born at that point. Shaker Heights just needing to get 1 goal to just try and build momentum off of that. The referee whistles it over to Gillespie, who moves it to Yakovo, now plays it to the far side. Joe Rich, who's back in the lineup here today after being out in that last game against Mount Notre Dame. That school from Cincinnati in Hamilton County, way down in the southwest region. complete opposite sides of the state. But it was the winner of the Northeast region, the winner of the Southwest region to play each other as Thomas Worthington moves this down the far side. And then it was the two Central regions that went head-to-head. Thomas Worthington, obviously the best of both Central regions. Shaker, just the best of Northeast and Southwest regions. Here, Yakovone going to get it back into play. That pass, not clean. She was looking for Geralt to go to the near side, but that cross-field pass just not going to connect. And right now, Worthington's going to stick with it. They've just looked like the more swift team. Passes have just connected a lot more. Their defense has just been locking up these red skirts of Shaker Heights. Here it'll be out of bounds to be taken over by Gillespie. He'll take it back in bounds, plays it to Geralt. Geralt moves it to try and center it. It'll be poked. Ooh, almost out of bounds, barely kept in by the senior captain. Here's another Cardinal whistle of possession. Now Fenton takes over. Fenton just whacks this one down past the midfield stripe. It's going to be Charlotte Juan. It's been one of the lead scorers of Shaker Heights. And the referee whistles it back to Worthington. 12:15 left to go in the state final contest. Thomas Worthington up by 3. A big day in athletics overall. Hockey, the ice hockey squad going to have their very first scrimmage. Of course, we're going to be on the calls for all of the regular season and postseason games of the ice hockey season. Of course, we don't cover the scrimmage because, well, we're told we're not really supposed to. This pass picked off. Thomas Worthington looking for goal number 4. They work it in. Here's a good chance, and the shot, it'll be tipped off a body in front, and it'll make its way in. Odd little goal, and a lot of these goals have been quite odd, just barely finding their way past Carly Sokol, and when they do, it's in a really odd manner. And Shaker just starting to slow down a little bit in the final 11:30 of the game, as they know they are more than likely not going to be able to crawl back into this one. You never know in the game of sports, but haven't scored in those first 3 quarters. Now you have to get 4 in the next 11:20. Let's see if Shaker can at least just try to get this scoring opportunity, because they have really struggled to get it going here in this second half. Thomas Worthington once again just all over Shaker on this near sideline, on the far sideline, between the hash marks. It's just been all about the field. And again, Thomas Worthington, maybe the home field advantage gives you a little bit of the momentum boost, but still, they've just been playing a much cleaner game as compared to Shaker Heights. They're looking for goal 5 if they can take it. Here's the centering pass. Shaker's going to take it over, moving it up. At least they're going to try to Emerson Miller. The pass not exactly a clean one from the senior Geralt. Now another pass picked up by the near side Cardinals. Now here's a shot into the lane. Another secondary shot will go wide. It'll be kept inbounds. It was a low percentage shot from very out wide. And now eventually it'll take a roll all the way out onto the track. Thomas Worthington going to get possession as their own. Let's see if they are able to cash in just once more. And indeed they will. I'll get another one just rolling past Carly Sokol. 9:40 left to go. The Cardinals now up by 5. It's 5-0. So now we get a timeout. And per our stadium announcer, I am told running clock will be the next move per the OHSAA guidelines. We're going to step aside as both teams talk things over. We've got 9:34 left to go. Shaker Heights, the team to take the timeout as they find themselves down by 5. And we're out of the timeout, 5-0. Thomas Worthington now leads it here in the state final round. And it's looking like they are going to get that much desired back-to-back-to-back three-peat. They won it in 22, 23, and right now it's looking like 24. Shaker looking for their first goal of the game. Juan dribbling it down between the hash marks. Play whistled into the possession of Shaker still. And Juan at the top of the circle will continue to move her way in. Eleanor Miller almost with a nifty move to bring it forward between the hash marks and into a good shooting lane. But no thank you, says Thomas Worthington. And they have really been all over Shaker's offense here today. And that's what has just brought them into a very clean performance here today. Thomas Worthington whacks it up the near side. Moving from the right side of your screen to left. Shaker has possession. Moving it down to the stick of Emerson Miller. Miller working with Geralt on the near side to keep possession as their own. Gillespie to center to Adams. That pass right to the Cardinal. On that far side, we will get play. Shaker takes it back, and they just need to control possession, start to make maybe more conservative passes. But right now, that's just not how they've been playing the game. Granted, when you've got a team all over you, like Thomas Worthington, it's been a little bit difficult to get any passes through. The Cardinals have the possession. Again, big athletic day. Ice hockey gets their preseason started. Ohio State playing right now. They're up 17-10 on Penn State. Third team in the nation up against the fourth team in the nation. Big Big Ten rivalry. They're a harsh send down the field. Just out of reach of Charlotte Juan. Thomas Worthington going to work this one back. Still kept on the near side. A pass down, picked up by Geralt. Geralt going to work this one back to about midfield. Moving it forward is Gillespie. Gillespie's pass picked up. Eleanor Miller accidentally kicked the ball, running forward to the far side. And so Worthington back with it. 6.5 left to go until Thomas Worthington. Again, that's assuming the result holds, but at a 5-0 deficit and running clock now, which again, not entirely sure what the difference would be. Field hockey, just a running clock game, but all the same. We're going to get a reset of the clock now. It stands at 6:05. We're going to get a reset to 6:08, which we've seen him struggle with the scoreboard before. So this time, we're actually getting the job done immediately, and we're going to get right back into play. To the far side. Looks like both Millers were subbed out. Both Emerson and Eleanor Miller not out there onto the field. Addie Weingart comes in as substitution for one. 5.5 left to go in this fourth and final quarter of the OHSAA state final round game. Gillespie not able to beat the Worthington Cardinal there, and Worthington actually going to get possession as the referee whistles it their way, looking for goal number 6 if they can get it. To the top of the semicircle, Shaker trying to clear it out. Worthington not able to keep it moving just yet. Shaker holds it. The near side of the circle, but now the referee going to give this one over to a Thomas Worthington short penalty corner once again. Two passes, play it to the far side. Now centering feed, shot taken, but saved away and cleared originally. Now the referee rules it another corner. The OHSAA staff beginning to set the table with the tournament trophies and all awards. Here's another corner. To the top, to the side. Now back to the center, looking for the shot. A stick of the Raiders going to get it out of danger at first, but now they're trying to look for a second chance. Tipped out from the semicircle and away. And now possession given up to the Raiders. Less than 3.5 remaining in the game. Thomas Worthington up by 5 now. This game has been all Cardinal ball out of that halftime. And so they've more than doubled their score out of that halftime. It was 2-0 entering into the fourth and final quarter. Now we're actually going to get a goalkeeper switch late into the game. That's not something you're typically ever going to see in the final round of the state tournament, but that's what we're going to be seeing here. I believe that's Lily King, considering that's the only other goalkeeper on the roster. I want to assume that's the freshman coming in wearing 50 for Thomas Worthington. 2:35 left to go in the game. Shaker struggling to find that first goal. And we'll see if they can now try to cash in on the freshman. But again, just not looking likely this late into the game. Two minutes remaining. 5-0 score. Shaker trying to clear it out of danger. It's just out of reach of Addie Weingart. It'll make its way to a Cardinal. 25 yards out from the Carly Sokol goal line. Here a centering pass, and it'll just go wide. So Shaker defends it once again for the time being. Down to our final 90 seconds of the game. Referee going to keep this moving in the advantage of Shaker. Only a minute left to go. Charlotte Juan holds on to it, passes it down. It'll find, never mind, just out of reach of Addie Weingart. However, possession whistle to Shaker as the referee keeps it moving to the left side to the right side of your screen. Thomas Worthington takes it back. And again, that's just what we've seen all game long from Thomas Worthington, just all over Shaker. It seems that they just continue to be at the right place at the right time. But if we're being truthful, it's always going to seem like that with a good team because they're setting themselves up in those good positions. 30 seconds left to go. The Thomas Worthington fans starting to get up on their feet. Play will continue on the far side. Thomas Worthington going to hold it. 10 seconds left to go. Now a centering pass just outside of the semicircle. Zoe Garnett defends well, but regardless, that'll take us to the end of the game. Thomas Worthington with another state title. They win this one by a score of 5-0 against Shaker Heights, who are going to be the runners-up here in the 2024 state tournament. So now we're going to step aside. I'll get in front of the camera, but firstly, we're going to have our ceremonies for both squads, both the runner-up, Shaker Heights, and the state champion, Thomas Worthington Cardinals.
Anytime you need help. Thank you. joking, but last night we did some joking.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a nice round of applause to both teams for their fine efforts in this championship tournament game. And now, the Ohio High School Athletic Association would like to recognize Shaker Heights High School from Cleveland, Ohio as your 2024 state runner-up team. When your name is called, please step forward to receive your individual award, where Michael Babinick, Athletic Director, and Eric Julie, Principal, will present you with your medal. Let's recognize the Raiders of Shaker Heights High School. Number 1, Sloan Fenton. Number 2, Nina Yakabone. Number 3, Elizabeth Wilson. Number 4, Zoe Garnett. Number 5, Catherine Adams. Number 6, Taylor Boland. Number 9, Bridget Barrigate. Number 10, Elena Geralt. Number 11, Charlotte Wan. Number 12, Bailey Brown. Number 13, Josephine Rich. Number 14, Ellie White. Number 15, Eleanor Miller. Number 16, Addison Weingart. Number 18, Columba Schuster. Number 19, Eleanor Gillespie. Number 20, Emerson Miller. Number 92, Lillian Dreyfus. Number 94, Carly Sokol. Number 95, Eve Blocker. Assistant coaches, Jennifer Clark. Olivia Hamilton. Delia McDermott. And Addie Clark. Head coach for Shaker Heights High School, Ashley Borstein. How about those Raiders, ladies and gentlemen? Fans, you have all witnessed how outstanding this team has been throughout the season. As we have seen on the field today, the hard work and dedication, every single player left on the field, every game, that is the reason you are playing in this state final field today. Not only does this team play hard, but they work together as a team and have fun doing it, which is a large part of high school athletics. To the seniors on the team, what an incredible way to finish your final field hockey season with a trip to the state tournament. To the underclassmen on the team, it is safe to say we will look to see you back again next season. This is Shaker Heights' 4th year in a row to make it to the state field hockey tournament. But even more importantly, the first out of the 4 years playing in the state championship game. And now you are bringing back a trophy to Shaker Heights. Let's hear it for the 2024 state runner-up, Raiders of Shaker Heights High School. And now, the OHSAA Senior Sport Administrator, Emily Mason, will present the 2024 State Runner-Up Trophy to Shaker Heights High School. Congratulations on an excellent season, Raiders. And now, the Ohio High School Athletic Association would like to recognize Thomas Worthington High School from Worthington, Ohio, as your 2024 state champion. When your name is called, please step forward to receive your individual award, where Trent Bowers, Superintendent of Worthington Schools, and Josh Amelson, Principal of Thomas Worthington High School, will present you with your medal. Let's please welcome number 00, Peyton Frost. Number 1, Rowan Casey. Number 2, Sophia Borghese. Number 3, Emerson Welligis. Number 5, Julie Conroy. Number 6, Reese Decker. Number 7, Eiley Shawberry. Number 8, Caroline Sprung. Number 10, Meredith Eastep. Number 11, Molly McClellan. Number 13, Macy Morgan. Number 14, Samantha Kendall. Number 15, Delaney Casey. Number 20, Kira Posey. Number 21, Maggie Subtle. Number 23, Olivia Osa. Number 25, Jaden Gusler. Number 32, Taylor Carnes. Number 40, Elle Pasquinelli. Number 50, Lily King. Number 55, May Conroy. Assistant coaches, Isabel Parisi. Maddie Gels. Katie Thompson. Emily Rund Campbell. I will mention the manager, Addie Albert, and scorekeeper Stephanie Lytell, and the head coach of the Cardinals of Thomas Worthington High School, Terry Simonetti Frost. All right, Thomas Worthington fans, give it up one more time for this state final field hockey team. Cardinal fans, there is no doubt that the Thomas Worthington field hockey program is one of the most successful programs at the school, but also in the state of Ohio. Head coach Simonetti has taken this field hockey team to the state tournament an outstanding 16 times during her career. With the success of the field hockey program, your hard work all season to make it to this championship game today, and you continually accomplish your goal. The fact that every member of this school team has played in the state field hockey tournament each year they've been in school is quite an accomplishment that very few student athletes get to do in their high school athletic career, and that deserves a huge round of applause. And now the Thomas Worthington field hockey team has participated in the state tournament back-to-back years as the 2021 state runner-ups, the 2022 state champions, the 2023 state champions, and now the 2024 state champions. Congratulations. Now the Ohio High School Athletic Association Senior Sport Administrator Emily Mason will present the 2024 state championship trophy to the Cardinals of Thomas Worthington High School. Congratulations again, Thomas Worthington, on your excellent season.
Yeah, good. And you can just do what you need to do, all right? We're good.
Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for your attendance on this very pleasant early November afternoon to witness this state championship game. The student athletes at both Shaker Heights High School and Thomas Worthington High School, the Ohio High School Athletic Association, and the staff here at Thomas Worthington High School appreciate your support. As you exit the facility at this time, we ask that you please Do not congregate with your participants on the field that are from the
Hello, Shaker Heights varsity field hockey fans. Welcome back into the press box here at Hamilton Field. Shaker Heights not getting the result they so desired here in Worthington, Ohio, but of course you're going up against the already back-to-back state champions, now back-to-back as they got the victory here at their home field, Hamilton Field. They won it by a final of 5-0. Before I step aside, I would just like to give a thank you to everyone, whether it be the parents of these wonderful players, whether it be just you tuning in right now. I greatly appreciate your support. I would also like to thank Mark Eny, Michael Babnick, and Vicky Long there at the Shaker Heights Athletic Department. They help me out in what I do every single day. And also, I'd like to thank the coaches, including head coach Ashley Borstein, for letting me do this for her team. Obviously, a very incredible team entering here today. A very great run for the Shaker Heights field hockey squad. And again, with a very young team, very heavy in the sophomore class specifically, they're going to be looking to continue these kinds of runs moving forward into next year, 2025. I would also like to thank Liz Wilson. She got me back into calling Shaker Heights field hockey, and she got me here for a good season as Shaker made their way to the finals, and here they're going to finish as the runner-ups in the 2024 season. Thank you for watching. My name is Vaughn Ullum. That will be all for my Shaker Heights fall commentary career. I appreciate everybody for supporting me. My next broadcast will be in mid-November when Shaker Heights takes on Walsh Jesuit on the road. We will be back for the ice hockey calls. Thank you very much for joining. We will see you then.